Yeah, in total I've spent Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome once more to Leo, my Mk2 SEAT Leon Cupra. So guys, as you have seen by the title, this is my 1 year-ish update of how ownership has been like with this car. Now, I bought Leo in summer of 2020. We are now in December 2021. So yes, I've owned Leo for around a year and a half now. So yes, this video is quite overdue. So before I waffle on too much, let me show you around the outside just to give you a bit of an admin update. So I will need the camera, of course. So visually, not much has changed, although the little details do make quite a large difference. So for example, I now have the different grille, which is a SEAT official part, which has been wrapped by CHR wraps, and it looks so much more aggressive and sporty compared to the standard grille, which in my opinion looked a bit meh. Some of you may have spotted that my driver's side fog light lens is cracked. I will address that at some point. To my knowledge, you can't get a replacement lens. You'd have to replace the whole unit, which isn't exactly expensive, but it's not something I feel the need to do right now, so that can wait for another day. Since I've owned Leo, I have had the door mirror caps painted because they were quite scuffed and nasty, and the passenger side one, it looked like someone had attempted to touch it up with a rattle can and it looked nasty. Yes, they are now gleaming, well, gleaming-ish. Yes, I know Leo is quite dirty. He could do with a wash, but it's winter, he's been well used, and yes, I wanted to get this video filmed before it was too late because already this video is 6 months overdue. Now, there is some rust forming on the near side front wing at the bottom, which you may see. You can see the kind of browny, orangey, nasty rust, as well as some bubbling near where the wing meets the door. So yes, I will have that addressed at some point. I've had a quote from a body shop. I'd be looking at around £580, including VAT, to have that rectified. Unfortunately, it would need a new wing to rectify the issue, and I have been advised by someone I know who works at a Volkswagen Automotive Group parts supplier, that it's worth taking the wheel arch liner off and just seeing what's inside, because there's probably mud and just crap that's just built up, caused moisture, and it's caused the rust to form. So the driver's side, to my knowledge, is actually fine, but I will probably at some point strip out that wheel arch liner just to double check. The ride height is of course a bit lower thanks to the iBark lowering springs, and if I bring you to the rear, you'll see that the badging has been de-chromed and is now black. And yes, I know the boot lid is very, very grubby. You can see multiple handprints and fingerprints. Yes, Leo has been well used. So anyway, without further ado, let's jump into the car and go for a drive. So where do I start? So much to speak about. I actually filmed this video quite some time ago, but I wasn't happy with the finished outcome. There's lots of waffling, I kept going off on tangents. I know that's completely unlike me, right? And I couldn't edit the video to a point where I'd be happy with it. So I thought, you know what, I'll just refilm it at some other point. And that other point is now. You may have noticed the driving gloves are back. I haven't worn them in a while. Some of you love them. Others of you hate them. They are very divisive, but I'm not going to stop wearing them just because some of you don't like them. So, in your face. Anyway, back onto Leo. So when I first test drove him, I'll be honest, it wasn't love at first drive. He felt solid, he performed well in the right areas, ticked quite a few boxes, but I wasn't left blown away. I didn't think, yes, that's the one. And you may think, well, Aaron, in which case, why did you buy this car? for petrol heads, a lot of car buying is based on emotion, really, isn't it? Normally, there's not much logic that goes into it, let's be honest. But for the budget I had, for the options I had at the time, the more I thought about this car, the more it made sense. The mileage was good, it had a good history, it had main dealer service history, only two owners before me. It's in good condition. Sorry, my nose is running, you have to excuse me. Yeah, it looked like a tidy car. The dealer had good reviews. So all of a sudden, you've got a car which emotionally wasn't pulling on my heartstrings, but my wallet and my head were going, you know what, Aaron, this makes sense. Don't miss out on this one. This is a car that I think if I hadn't have bought it, I would have regretted it. But hey, the rest is history, as they say. A little bit of torque steer there. I'm still indicating why. So yes, when I first bought the car, when I first bought Leo, I wasn't exactly bowled over, but as time's gone by, I've done modifications to the car. I've made the car my own, put my own stamp on it, and all of a sudden I'm left with a package that I'm really, really happy with. Yeah, so how has it been with my year and a half owning Leo? I've actually really enjoyed it. It's nice to have a turbocharged car back, because of course my car before this was a JDM EP3, and some of you may think I'm mad for getting rid of that in exchange for this, but I had many reasons which I won't go through now because it will take up too much time in this particular video. But I've covered quite a few miles in Leo. How many specifically? I want to say about 7,000. I think that's a good estimate. So I have spent quite a few miles in the car, so I can give you a good ownership update. I'm going to turn the climate control down actually, because it's actually getting quite warm in here, believe it or not. I do want to speak about fuel economy, although if I'm honest, that is a little bit of a tricky one, because I didn't buy this car to be frugal, and it's very rare that I spend my time glaring at the MPG info on the trip computer. I would say around town, probably somewhere between 26, 28 MPG. That is a bit of an educated guess. On a longer run, I can easily get it into the 30s. But yeah, in regards to fuel costs, I'm afraid I can't really help you with that one, because I don't really pay much attention to it. I know it sounds very blasé, but I drive this car to enjoy it, not to worry about the fuel bills. If I wanted a car that was frugal, I would have gone out and bought a Toyota Prius. Oh, sorry, I can't say Prius without just shuddering. Oh, a Jimny. In regards to reliability, Leo has been pretty good. There have been a few things I've had to do from a maintenance point of view, but nothing that's really been super necessary. Well, the battery needed replacing, but that was done under warranty. The driver's side rear coil spring was broken, so I could have had that done under warranty, to be fair, but I was thinking about fitting lower ring springs to the car anyway, so I thought, you know what, I may as well just do it now. It seemed silly to have it replaced under warranty, only then to just strip it back out to fit the iBark lower ring springs. So yeah, a few people said, oh, you should have just had it replaced. Why? What's the point if it's going to spend a few months in the car, then simply be removed again? It just didn't seem worth my time. Most of the issues with the car have been from an electronic issue. So for example, the front passenger door latch works intermittently. It seems to work better when, sorry, hold that thought. Oh my God. already I'm at like 60 miles per hour in no time at all. God, this thing is ferocious, absolutely ferocious. I've completely lost my train of thought, and this is what happened the last time I filmed this video. Oh yes, the door latch. It works intermittently. It seems to work better when it's hot. That door mirror I had to replace because it stopped working quite annoyingly. What other electronic gremlins have I had? The level sensors had to be replaced. They were completely broken, and they weren't cheap either, which was kind of annoying. The button for the driver's window is sticky. Quite a common problem on the 4C. Quite a common issue on the VAG cars, as are the door latches, by the way. But I can still operate the window for the time being, so I'm not going to do anything at this moment in time. And there's just a few nitty gritty things that need to be addressed on the car. I say need to be, they're just things that are on my to-do list. The bolstering on my seat has worn where I've been getting in and out of the car, a common issue. The same thing happened to my dad's Ibiza. Thankfully, my bolster is nowhere near as bad as his one. So yeah, I'll get that done at some point. What other bits have I got to do? The driver's side front fog light is cracked. The lens is cracked, so I need to replace the fog light. Again, that doesn't need doing right now, does it? That door latch will need doing at some point, but again, not right now. So yeah, there are a few little bits here and there that need to be done, but overall, from a mechanical point of view, Leo is fighting fit. There's a small oil leak coming from one of the boost hoses. That's an easy fix. I need to replace the seals, so again, that can be done at some point, but that's more of a weep than a leak, really. So yeah, I've really enjoyed my year and a half with the car. Would I recommend you buy one? Yes, I would. In the year and a half I've owned Leo, in regard to other Mk2 Leon Cupras I've seen on the road, I can literally count them on one hand, and one of those was actually a Cupra R, so it doesn't really count because it's not a Cupra, but it's better than a Cupra, to be fair. And I would have liked to have got a Cupra R, but my budget didn't allow for one. I could have potentially got a K1 in my budget, but I'm not a massive fan of the K1, and it doesn't give you any more power. It's more, well, it is really just a styling pack. I thought, well, why spend the extra for a styling pack I'm not actually a massive fan of? I do quite like the centre exhaust though, that does look pretty good. So I've mentioned fuel costs. What about other costs? So this is the bit of the video where I must admit, when I calculated how much I've spent on Leo, I did think, Jesus almighty, how have I spent that much in a relatively short space of time? So Mrs. Car Obsession, if you are watching this, this is the bit where I'd like you to go and put the kettle on, make a cup of tea, and just make yourself busy for a few minutes, because yeah, when you hear what I've got to say in this bit, you will have a heart attack. Lord above! Who needs caffeine when you've got this on tap? My word. So, in regard to how much I've spent on Leo, I'd say the majority of it has been on modifications, so that's money I've chosen to spend on the car, as opposed to just maintenance. So actually I can tell you how much I've spent roughly on modifications. So I've spent around £2,850. So in case you haven't been a regular viewer of the channel, Leo has the following modifications. The Cobra catback non-resonated exhaust, AMD stage 1 remap, Revo induction kit, Forge Motorsport intercooler, Forge Motorsport short shifter, Forge Motorsport oil catch can. There's a theme here. The iBark lowering springs, the front grille, if you really want to count that, and I believe that's everything. I may have missed something off, but I'm confident I haven't. So yes, so quite a bit spent on modifications. In regards to the maintenance side of things, that's about £2,450. So that includes servicing, tyres, what other bits. So I'm not needed to replace the brakes yet, but I may upgrade them to EBC in the new year. I had some diagnostics done because I had an airbag warning light that kept coming on, and just a few bits here and there. The door mirror, I count that as maintenance. What else? Yeah, Mk2 MX5, go on lad. The level sensors, again, maintenance. So yeah, there were a few things which again didn't really need doing, but they were niggling me, and I thought, well, let's just get it done. So in total, what I've spent on Leo, Mrs. Car Obsession, if you've come back, just pop back out of the room for another minute or so. Won't be long, I promised. It won't be long, I promise, I should say. I don't know why I said promised. Yeah, in total, I've spent a little over £5,300. And when I worked that out, I was glad I was sat down for that, because it's weird, because you spend a little there, spend a little there, and then all of a sudden you're looking at yeah, a fair bit over £5,000. And some of you may think, well, actually, Aaron, it would have made more sense for you to just have a bigger budget when you were buying the car, so maybe you could have got something a bit better. Not that there's nothing wrong with this car, and you raise a valid point. However, whilst I've had Leo, I've come into some money because of unfortunate events, and that's allowed me to kind of modify Leo and do a few bits. So yeah, overall, I'm really happy with my ownership with Leo. Not too many issues in the first year and a half. I've driven him on track as well, and that was really, really good fun. In fact, I look forward to another track day at some point next year. When and where that'll be, I don't know. If you've got any questions or queries, if you're thinking about buying a Mk2 Leon Cupra and you want some advice, or you want to know more about my experience, because there's probably a few things I've missed out. I do hope you have enjoyed this video or found it useful. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.